Hey everybody, Kit here. Welcome back to another crochet vlog, and today we are, I'm not even 100% sure what exactly we're going to be crocheting. Could be a mix of a bunch of different things. It could be mystery squares. It could be a lot. I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things we could be doing on the corner of my desk here, which really boils down to 3 different things. Mystery squares, working with some random scrap yarn I have that I don't want to put on my ball because it's a little bit like enough to make something out of, or sewing together a whole bunch of projects that are like just waiting for me to like be done with them and then just put them together, you know? So yeah, plenty of different things we could do. So yeah, hopefully that goes well. And as for what happened in chapter 9, is college. College happened. Interesting. College happened. It was stressful. Lots of assignments and really just a bunch of the kids. No, Chewy. Bad Chewy. Bad Chewy. Yeah, the kids are not really used to having to get up on their own to do the things that people need to do. Kind of kids, you'll get them on like routines and stuff, but then the older they get, the more they're able to do those routines on their own, and well, they're not, because they were never taught that, at least in this iteration of Lost in Time. Yeah, Eli's not really liking that aspect, or the many college essays. So yeah, anyway, I also want to apologize for not having this for a bit. Been just struggling on the energy bus and the mental health bus and the general life bus, and I feel bad, but at the same time I'm trying to give myself grace. It sucks. It really sucks, but yeah, but we're here now, so yeah. So we are officially on chapter 10, and it's called A Feathered Companion, because the one good thing that happened last chapter was Simon told Eli, hey, we're going to go to Travelerverse, and that's basically the magical headquarters for travelers. We have Goma, right, which is really for everybody in the magical world, but we have, well, Travelerverse is specifically just for travelers. They're the only ones who can get there because they're the only ones who can use those particular rifts. They're the only ones who can see tears and, you know, doorways through time. So they get their own little special place, which is kind of nice. But for the most part, people don't get to go there until they're, 17 or older. You don't really see children there. If you do, it's kind of few and far between. And I don't want to say special cases, but a little bit of special cases. Chewy. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Saturday couldn't come fast enough. I quickly found out one thing during my short half week at school. I hated it. The assignments were dumb, tedious, and had no applications in real life whatsoever. So, Saturday morning, I skipped war games. Yep, that's right, I skipped a class. I was probably going to take flack for it. Oh well. As long as Simon found out after I learned how to find the entrance to Travelerverse, I wouldn't mind whatever lecture came. So that is how I found myself leaving the dorm quietly at 6 a.m. and conveniently leaving through the rift on the back side of the building. No one would be the wiser. Well, probably. I was too excited to care. I had my marker on around my neck, my wallet, credentials, phone, and the receipt Simon had given to me for my birthday, all tucked away into my decent-sized strap purse. A simple black lanyard was poking out of the half-zippered top, the pepper spray attached to arm and ready to go. A girl can't be too careful, you know. The lines for the Goma elevators seemed to go on and on as I bounced impatiently on the balls of my feet. My stomach grumbled urgently, and my mind was going haywire without my caffeine fix. So could people seriously hurry the heck up? I had somewhere to be. When a fight broke out between a vampire and a werewolf in front of me, and blood and fur went flying everywhere, I quickly ducked under the flying spittle and squeezed into the last elevator, smirking slightly. Now it would take everyone else ages to get to their respective offices, since security would have to check everyone for hazardous bodily fluids. Vampire venom is nasty. My floor came, and I broke out into a full-on sprint to DOD, only to glare at Simon's closed door. He was probably still at the coffee shop in Maine, where he lived when he wasn't eating, breathing, and sleeping in the mountain paperwork that was his office, making sure they got his super complicated order right. I had never been there, nor did I ever want to walk in with him. I am sure he didn't tip them enough. I shuddered briefly, remembering the one time I had done a coffee run for him. Yeah, I want 1 medium white chocolate mocha with an extra pump of white chocolate, my favorite coffee order when I go out to places. And hang on, let me get this posted out here. Oh, yes, a quad grande, non-fat, extra hot caramel macchiato, upside down? What the crap is this, Simon? That poor kid, it had been way too early in the morning to deal with my order. The manager had to do it, and it had taken them 3 tries to get it right. Then Simon had said it was too weak and trashed it. Never again. But seriously, what was upside down coffee? This had been a year ago, and I still had no idea. Shaking my head ruefully, I jumped off the train, heading down memory lane, and greeted Simon by snatching my coffee and greasy breakfast bag from him, taking 1 large gulp of the bitter goodness. Much better. Good morning to you too, Eliana, he grumbled, shoving me aside to access his office. Raising my eyebrow, I took another swig. So, how mad was the barista today? I began conversationally, throwing my feet up onto his immaculate desk as I sat down in one of his chairs. He scowled fiercely. They got a new barista. He hasn't even heard of upside-down coffee. I mean, he's a coffee barista. They were supposed to be trained. It took him 20 minutes to make my precious, he burst out, fuming as he organized his papers. I sighed, putting down my breakfast for 1 moment, and reached over to pat his hand consolingly, meeting his eyes for a moment. It's okay, Simon. No one has. I'm actually slightly tempted to look up if there even is such a thing as upside-down coffee right now, or if I made it up. I burst out laughing, and he scowled again, shoving my breakfast bag at me, to furiously wipe off the grease spots. Did I mention he has OCD? Oh, shut up, Eli. He scowled once more, then pointedly began typing, ignoring me. Shrugging, I ignored the frosty tension in the air and finished my breakfast. Simon was always grumpy until his espresso kicked in. I crumpled up the fast food wrapper, delish breakfast sandwich and mini tater tots, and tossed it into his empty waistband. Okay, mini side note here. I miss Chick-fil-A's breakfast. Like, they used to have, like, gravy, a side of gravy to go alongside, like, as a dip for their fried chicken sandwiches and their honey butter biscuit, little bites, and they used to have these mini tater tots, and I swear they've gotten rid of the mini tater tots, and then I know for sure they've gotten rid of the gravy, and that was, like, the best part, and it's just like, come on, why did you get rid of it? I want it back. Anyway. Alright, I want to go shopping and stuff, so hurry up, Simon. I stood up and stretched, sighing contentedly now that my stomach was full and well caffeinated. Nodding, Simon took a gulp of his special coffee and switched his computer off. Then let's go. He took my hand, and away we went. We blinked in and out of existence in the span of a single breath. Simon had the ability to summon terrors to him, instead of having to hunt them down. It was what made him so good at his job, even if he was only 26. I forgot Simon is as old as I am. Yo, Simon, you were, like, you got the adult thing down pat, because, I don't got it down at all. I wish I did. Wow, did 18-year-old me really think 26 was old or something? I don't know, that's kind of funny. I blinked away the cold tingles that magic always brought and looked around at the trees. And more trees. And more trees. We were standing in the middle of this old beat-up asphalt road that had seen many better days. A few hundred feet in front of us had to be the most dangerous bridge ever overlooking a hauntingly peaceful misty ravine. The rest of our scenery was trees. In short, we were in the middle of nowhere. Sam? Does your internal compass need to be checked? Simon laughed, then his facial features went still. He was tapping away on his phone, and his seriousness was beginning to scare me. Hang on. I want to get the drink. Much better. Simon? Hello? Simon! I snapped my fingers impatiently, barely resisting the urge to slap him after a few moments of incessant tapping. He sighed insufferably and tucked his iPhone into his bag. No, Eli, we are in the right place. Or I should say you are, anyway. I have to go. I am late. He waved stonily. I was walking backwards towards a ditch. I took a step towards him. Simon, what the heck? What in the world am I supposed to do out here? I shouted, sensing he was about to travel. The jackal's final words to me? Experience the view. So very not helpful at all. You I stuttered, unable to believe he had just disappeared and abandoned me like this. In the middle of nowhere, no less. Experience the view. Just about as helpful as take in the scenery. I scoffed at my inner voice and checked my iPhone. No signal. Of course, I groaned, shoving it back into my bag. Knowing my luck, if I started walking, I would never find a town or even a car coming down the road. Running my hands through my hair in frustration, I looked around, hopeful that I would at least see a rift somewhere. No such luck. Of freaking course. I cursed Simon, both mentally and aloud, several times. What view, moron? There's just trees, I yelled angrily, waving my arms about the sky. I'm sure there was a blue sky up there somewhere above the thick fog. Growling to myself, I stomped over to the bridge, still at a loss of what I should be looking for or what I should do. The logical, sensible Eli knew that Simon would never leave me without a heck of a good reason. I just had to find it. The larger part of me was just plain pissed. I mean, to be fair, I'd be throttling someone's neck. Scowling fiercely, I kicked a loose rock off the rickety planks of the bridge, leaning hesitantly on the railing to look over into the abyss that it fell. Into the abyss that it fell? Okay, that's weird. Dang, that's a long ways down. Swallowing hard, I stood upright, still peering down there. I could just barely make out the jagged edges of the deadly rocks waiting below. I looked both ways and gulped once I saw the worn sign. Suicide Bridge. At the base of the pole was a single cross and dozens of flowers, lovingly placed by mourning friends and family. Blinking, I looked down again. I could almost see why depressed people would come here if they wanted to end it all. But I wasn't one of them. Probably gonna have to put a trigger warning on this. Probably. Again, I wrote this in like 2014, 2015, so I wasn't really on internet culture, and internet culture had not gotten as decisively chaotic as it has now. I think that's a tactful way of putting it. Yeah. Wrapping my cold knuckles on the metal railing, I bit at my lip and fidgeted. What was so important here that Simon wanted me to see? Experience the view. Well, I had experienced it, and I didn't want to see any more of it. But I didn't see anything interesting except for this bridge. Sighing, I looked down again, this time determined to put aside my anger and figure this out, if only because I was freezing. My arms were covered in goosebumps minutes later when I saw it. That small glimmer, staring me in the face. A rift. At the very bottom, hovering just mere feet above the rocks, the only one in sight, cleverly hidden, with absolutely no way to get to it except jump. Oh, no, heck no, I cried, squeezing the railing. Simon, you! But there was no other way. The walls of a ravine were impossible to traverse, seeing as it was flat and slick. I'd never be able to scale it. I had no rope on me, nor could I get a strong enough one without a good memory, and I was just a few short of those at the moment. Good memory meaning, using, like the trick she did with the dog poop. I wasn't crazy. No, the only way was to go completely nuts and hurl myself off a ledge. I wasn't crazy. I prided myself on smart decisions, on everything that I was about to throw away on a freaking hunch. But on the bright side, if I survived this, I could happily continue with my murder scheming for Simon. Smacking the rail one last time in indignation, I backed up a few feet, looking both ways again. No cars were coming. Perfect time to die, I guess. Okay. Was 18-year-old me okay? That was really before my depression hit, so comes and goes, Okay, well, Dad, I love you, and if this doesn't work, we can haunt Simon together, I said to the air around me, looking around for some sort of sign. There wasn't any. My last wish? I really wish I had some wings right now. With that, I took off running and hurled myself over the ledge, screaming my head off. I was flailing in full panic mode. It was over in a few seconds, but those few seconds seemed like hours of slow motion. Then there was suddenly a flashing bright light, and I fell through the rift from one world into the next, screaming like a little girl. I promptly rocketed into plushy foam squares and face planted at the very bottom of a deep trampoline pit. I was still screaming, too. It took a good minute and a half to calm myself down and to realize I wasn't dead. Looks like Simon is going to die after all. Okay, no one could pay me enough to do that at all. Nope, not happening. Don't want to do it. No. I climbed out of that foam pit soaking wet, shaking from the cold and adrenaline zooming through my veins, and probably looked like a rabid psychopath. The incident looked like I was nothing he hadn't seen before. I didn't forget about this part. I remembered this part. It's probably not that fun. Handed me a towel and pointed towards an archway. Toweling off my hair, I followed the marked path and looked around. I was outside, somewhere with 4 suns and a moon. It was beautiful, just endless blue skies dotted with puffy white clouds. The paths were cobblestone streets, and it looked like the entire thing had been built to take after Europe on steroids. Colorful buildings were stacked haphazardly up into the never-ending sky, and children played in the streets, dodging the crowds of shoppers armed with bulging bags of goodies. Ah, yes, the children, the special case I wanted to say, but I just didn't. They live there. They're born there. Yeah. Played in the streets, dodging the crowds of shoppers armed with bulging bags of goodies. I stared at this in awe, towel forgotten in my hand, coming to a halt before the overhanging sign bearing the words, "Welcome to Travelerverse," in bold, colorful letters that matched with the town's colorful atmosphere. It was surreal and just how I had pictured it. Dad had always said it was eclectic and spontaneous, and that I would enjoy it. Well, he was right. Someone interrupted my awe-filled reverie with a polite tapping on my damp shoulder. Miss, did you just come from Suicide Bridge? I nodded, narrowing my eyes slightly. Simon did it. A nice young man asked me to watch out for you and give you this. I hope you enjoy your day. She handed me a folded note and a complimentary black bag labeled Travelerverse in neon pink, complete with a map. Oh, he did. He is so going to die. I would be. What would y'all be doing to Simon right now? Eli might be taking some ideas. Kill him. Thank you, ma'am. I smiled kindly at her and handed her the towel, spying the little laundry basket behind her kiosk desk. She took it with a kind smile and toddled back to her rocking chair. I slipped the little cheap bag on my shoulder and marched onwards, plotting Simon's slow and agonizing death. See, I wanted to say demise. I think demise would be a little bit more dramatic. I arrived at a cute little normal cafe and sat down at a random table, dumping my new bag and purse on the table before unfolding the little note. It was short, to the point, and made me see red. You can kill me later. I really like this suit. S. Alright. I love how at the beginning of this episode I really did not feel like doing this, but I don't really feel like doing much of anything right now, but this is the first time I've, like, properly laughed today. It's kind of crazy to me how reading this can make me smile and laugh, so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that says, but, yeah. Oh, shoot. Okay. The coward had left a homing pearl neatly tucked into a folded corner. Its magical signature, the office, so I could get home. Oh, that's a bad sentence. Hopefully, people. Basically, homing pearl, and it would take her back to the office. To DOD. Darn him. I was hopping mad now. He said he would be giving me the tour and showing me how to get to Travelerverse, not abandoning me to leap off a freaking bridge. I really like this suit. Oh, yeah. I'll show you just what I think of you in your stupid little suit, Simon. I blew out an annoyed breath, struggling to clear my mind. Come on, Eli. You're in Travelerverse now. The place you've been wanting to come to for ages. So what if Simon's a douche? You can still have fun. You don't need a guide to show you around anyway. You have a map. Oh, good grief. I sounded deranged talking to myself, but this map was huge, written in super tiny print, and made no directional sense whatsoever. Oh, well. When in doubt, just start exploring and spending money like your life depends on it. In other words, shopping therapy. Yeah, I tend to overindulge in that, which is how my room is completely covered in yarn. I ordered a strawberry coconut gelato thing. Oh, that sounds so good. Before I left the cafe, feeling much better now that I was dry and about to be shopping. I wandered the streets window shopping until I found a clothes store, and I am a girl. I just had to go browsing. And I ended up with 4 bags of adorable clothes an hour later. I was actually proud of myself. Not a single piece of it was activewear or geeky t-shirts. You're moving up in the world, Eli. Grinning to myself, I continued on my shopping spree. A few hours later, I had dropped off yet another round of bags at the handy little bag checking kiosk near the entrance of the town. I wasn't even tired yet. Blah, 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 blah. Everything was just amazing. I had gotten some more clothes, 4 or 5 new books on history and artifacts, useful for work and an interesting read, and some disposable, one-time use only artifact bags, mini, medium, and 1 large sturdy bag. I also found quite a few trinkets, everything from keys that open any door to healing crystals, all safe for the environment and dissolve with hardly a trace when used up. We travelers are always trying to do our part for the environment. Wouldn't that be nice? The only thing I kept with me, tucked neatly into a small pocket in my purse, was a new gadget of mine, a small clear sphere made of clear crystal. It had been pretty expensive with a monthly subscription fee, but I have been intrigued nonetheless. It was advertised to have interactive maps of all known worlds on it, with important news and weather items for everyday use. Oh, I forgot about that. You could also use it to scry out certain places in the world, and it even had a wizardly support desk, whom you could call on with questions on traveling protocol or questions on any artifacts you may find. They even helped you with your history assignments if you needed it. Okay, I want one. I browsed through the instruction leaflet, noting the glossy words. If you aren't satisfied within 30 days, we guarantee a full refund, no hassle. I would be holding them to it. I sighed, taking out the now crumpled tourist map wrinkled from use. I had no idea what time it was, but I was assuming it was near lunchtime. I had been to almost every street, had yet to see Simon, and I still had to work some today. I looked around, glancing at the many multicolored street signs pointing in all directions. Emporium Street. Emporium Street. Wait, wasn't that the address on that receipt Simon had given me for my birthday? I had almost forgotten about it. Digging into my purse to pull out the yellowed paper, I studied it, biting my lip. Dad had written on it before he had given it to Simon for safekeeping. Swallowing, I examined the writing. Hey, Eli. You are getting way too good at sniffing out your birthday presents, so this is going to Simon for safekeeping. Wouldn't want you to find it before you were supposed to have it. Happy 17th, baby girl. Love, Dad. A loud, watery chuckle, hands shaking slightly. Like father, like daughter. It was a game the three of us would always play, hiding gifts from the recipient. We had to get rather crafty in our house, so even sometimes hiding them halfway around the world in Pop's case. Grandpa Michael had many years of practice. Dad and I just used to team up and try to find our gifts before the holidays. But we never won. It was one of my fondest memories. The street address for the receipt was Blank Slate, Emporium Street, Travelerverse. It was the oddest receipt ever, just a paid amount that had been worn with age, and it was signed by my dad and a Samuel V. Was this Samuel the owner of the store, maybe? Okay, we're gonna get to here. This isn't... Alright. I'm gonna put, like, here, because I know we're only at 26 minutes, but, I'm trying to break it up, because this chapter's a little longer, so... Oh, hello. Hello. Okay, there we go. We'll do that. It'll be fine. Oh. Anyway, yeah. So we'll break it up there, and we will continue this next week. Yeah, my impressions on this chapter is Simon gonna die. Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, I liked it. I mean, there were a few typos and things, but it made me smile. So, hopefully it made y'all smile too. Anyway. Thank y'all for joining me on this reading journey so far. Are we not quite? We're almost halfway. Almost halfway. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I will see you all later. I hope y'all have a great week and happy Tuesday. Bye!